What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I left my vlog camera at the warehouse, so I'm using my A7S II, which is probably why it looks a little bit closer in on my face. Anyways, I didn't film the first half of this because I didn't know exactly how to go about doing it, so I wanted to do it on my own, figure everything out, and now that I know what I have to do, I can show you guys. So what I just did on the LS400 was a wire tuck for the front. One big issue with these cars is they ran the main harness through the inside of the fender, so up along the frame rail inside the fender. So anyone that is planning to go low on these cars is more than likely going to rub straight through that harness, and then you're going to lose all power to your car, and it's not a good time. So I was proactive. Today we just kind of had a slow day hanging at the house, and I wanted to do it, get it done, because tomorrow I'm getting the fenders rolled, and then hopefully by the end of this week my wheels are going to ship, which I'm really excited for. But now that I've done the driver's side, I'm going to move on to the passenger side, and I can show you guys exactly how I did it for the driver's side. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a lot of tedious finding bolts and everything, because these fenders are held on by 20 something bolts. It's crazy, but I'm gonna drop the car back down, pull it outside, spin it around, and then I can get it back in the air and have more room to do it. All right, so going off what I just did on the driver's side, I know for the passenger side there's going to be some bolts up under the cowl here for the fenders. There's gonna be a bolt somewhere right about here under the stripping, so you're gonna have to pop the stripping off. I know that the corner lights and the headlights do have to come out to get to more bolts that hold the fender on down by the bumper. There's a little bolt that's hidden right behind the door. Thankfully I had just enough to swing the door open to be able to get that bolt. You have to take the fender liner out. This bottom two-tone piece needs to come off, and then there's more bolts that hold the fender on under that. So it's just a lot of little tedious stuff, and I'm probably not gonna show everything just because it's not the most interesting content, and there are videos out there already of how to exactly wire tuck an LS400. So I'm probably just gonna time lapse while I am getting it done. I'm gonna set you guys up, do a little bit of a time lapse, and then I'll show you guys what I did. So about 25 minutes later, everything I believe is off. I'll give you a quick rundown of all of the stuff that I had to do. Okay, first off, I popped the hood. I took all of the weather stripping off of the side of the fender here. There was one bolt here, there was one bolt here. You lift this up, there's two more bolts tucked back in there. That's done for the top of the fender. So then you have to jack the car up, take the wheel off, take the whole fender liner out, which fender liners on LS400s are huge, and they have 15 something bolts holding them in. There will be these two bolts that you access to pop the front bumper off, and then to get a little more wheel room, I also unbolted the core support from right here, which gave me a little more wiggle room with the headlights. For the headlights, there's a bolt here, 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 and here. For the corner lights, they slip into the headlight themselves, so they're very easy to break. Be very careful, don't just unbolt something and go yanking on this, because you will snap the tabs and then these will always fall out on you. So don't do that. Easiest way that I did it was unbolted everything from the back. That gave a little bit of wiggle room for the headlights, enough to where I could squeeze the corner light out, and then the headlight, so on and so forth. All right, enough rambling. I'm gonna put you guys down again for a second, maybe time lapse what I'm gonna do next, and then I'll explain what I did, because it just keeps going. All right, so now that we got all this off, I undid the clips for this harness. This harness is about twice as small as the driver's side harness, so keep that in mind. The driver's side harness is kind of annoying to do, but I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the driver's side for here. So what I'm basically going to do is take this, lift it up. I can't do it with one hand, but you get the idea. I'm going to put it up and over this lip on the fender frame here. So where it likes to sit naturally is this little groove here, but I need to make this groove bigger so that it doesn't want to fall out of this groove. So I have a Dremel, I don't know where I left it, but I'm going to cut grooves here, make this bigger, and then find where it wants to sit over here. I'm gonna try and get it as close to this side as possible. That way the wheel doesn't
get in the way. But in the future, I might also cut this whole triangular section piece out just for wheel clearance as well. But for now, I'm just making sure the harness is all good. All right, and 10 Dremel bits later, we're done. So this is what it will look like finalized. Well, not finalized. I'm still gonna put some zip ties through this to hold it up, but I cut grooves, made sure they were nice and smooth so that there's no sharp surfaces. And yeah, so this is the main harness and it is tucked up. This goes to my fog light, so this will be behind the fender liner. The annoying part about this is, yes, it needs to be done before you put coilovers on or wheels, period, but I still have to take these fenders back off, at least the fender liners, to do more modification in the future, like hammering out the inner frame rail if I can't get low enough, blah, 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 like cutting stuff, but I won't know if I need to do that until I am actually low, so that's why I'm not doing it right now. Regardless, I have these huge, beefy zip ties here. I'm going to snake these up and around and get this all snug up, and then we'll be good. Just before I throw the fender back on, I'd show you the final product. So nice, tucked up, out of the way. 2 big fat zip ties holding it down here. A little trick that I learned for anyone that is trying to secure something. If you don't have a solid way, like I was gonna drill holes through this here and here and then snake zip ties all the way around, but I couldn't do that. What I did was I took a small zip tied it around the wire harness, right? So then I took the bigger zip tie, put it through the zip tie around the hole. That way it is double clamped, it is not going anywhere. There's no chance for that zip tie to slide down this way and lose tension. It is nice and tight on both sides. So this is good to go for the wire tuck. I'm gonna slap the fender back on and get all of this stuff situated. All right, and about 30 minutes later, we are finished. So harness has been tucked, everything is put back together. I did it on purpose, but I didn't put nearly a third of the hardware back on the fender because I expect to take it out, so that'll just make my job easier down the line. But I put everything on where it needs to be, so this isn't going anywhere. We're that much closer. I know you guys really want me to drop this thing immediately, but I did not know going into these LS400s how much work it takes to actually like prepare yourself before you lower the car extensively. And I mean, I've said it before, but I'm lowering this car. It is like it's gonna be touching the ground at all times. That was my plan with it from the beginning, and that's my end goal ultimately. I just want to make the craziest LS400 I can. So this video wasn't about the whole wire tuck. I just filmed it because I was doing it, and I'm just gonna bank this footage for now, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. All right, so it is the next day. It's kind of end of the day. And before we headed back home, I reached out to one of Ravi's friends. Ravi is someone that I met down here. He runs V2 Lab and has a lot of history down in the Florida car scene. I hit him up because I needed fender rolling on the LS400, especially if I'm gonna be fitting the wheels that I got. And he recommended my guy Daniel over here.
Yes, sir.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
So we already got the driver's side done, and we're just taking it step by step, getting the fenders all situated. Figured I would just fill you guys in, let you know that we're actually doing this, and I'll show some time lapses. I'll also put Daniel's Instagram right here, so if you guys want to give him a follow. He does really good fender rolling in like the Central Florida, Orlando area. Definitely be sure to hit him up if you need your fenders rolled. All right, huge shout out to Daniel for rolling the fenders. He did a phenomenal job, and now I'll be able to fit my wheels when they come. I actually just got the notification that they shipped, so I won't be back in time to receive them. In a few days, we're heading out to FD Seattle round 2, so we're gonna be kind of busy for that, and that's why I've decided to do this beforehand, because if I don't, then it's gonna be a whole nother week without content, and I don't wanna do that. I wanna put a video out for you guys. So I've been sitting on a lot of parts for this car for the past month or so, just been waiting for the time to be able to put them in.
and I think right now is the perfect time. So if you guys remember, I bought Broadway static coilovers for this car, and I think that now that we have all of that fabrication stuff done,
the knuckles are shortened, the rear diff is raised, the rear subframe's notched, the engine and trans is all raised,
I think that we can safely put the coilovers in and see how the car looks a lot lower. I definitely won't be able to go as low as I want to, just because these stock tires are gigantic and it's going to be definitely rubbing the inside of the fender. Either way, I'm pumped to see how this car looks a lot lower than it is.
We're just gonna get it up on the lift and start doing the fronts first, since the fronts are more annoying, and we'll save the easy stuff for the end. Alright, so first step, I'm going to be taking this little pinch weld here and hammering it flat. If you don't do this, it'll cut into your tire if you go super low, which I plan to. So I'm just going to make 2 slits, one right here and one right here, and then hammer it flat, and we should be good to go. So I'll do this side first, and then I'll do the passenger side. First stock strut is out, and when I took it out, I realized these are already right in my face, ready to come out. I might as well switch them out for what I have. And what I have is some Serialnine front uppers. Now these were a nightmare to find. Serialnine takes absolutely forever to make anything, and so I was able to find these on Facebook, and they're brand new. So I am going to be slapping these in the front before I put the coilover in, just because the strut's already out, might as well. What do you think of Serialnine?
Looks cool.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
The wait time is the fun
sucks.
part.
It's no fun to wait for that.
Nope, not at all. But yeah, they're really nice quality. Like, they make really good stuff, so I'm pumped to have them. I still need to find a rear set, or just have my arms cut and shortened. I don't know yet. But these should get me like 12 degrees of camber, I think. I'm gonna put these in before I put the coilovers in.
Alright, so I got the front driver's side on, and it's low. It's definitely low, but I feel like, okay, so I left everything maxed out. I left the upper control arm maxed out camber. I left the coilover maxed out low. So we'll see what it looks like when I have wheels, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna need to go lower. We'll see, not too sure.
But here is stock. Obviously it's on a lift, so it's a little higher. And here is it is quite a significant difference.
So I showed you guys one side. I'm just gonna blast through the other side, get that all taken care of, and then I'll show you when it's done. This has been quite the ordeal, getting the rear coilovers in. I thought they would be easy because, well, the fronts were a bitch, so I figured one side's gotta be easy, one side's gotta be tough. But the issue that I kept running into was the size comparison of the OEM strut and these coilovers. It throws the hub off so much that when I went to jack the hub up to put the coilover in, the actual mount for the coilover was starting to turn this way and going out of alignment with where the coilover wanted to sit. And I spent like 45 minutes trying to get that to work. Tried drilling out the like OEM
hub so that the bolt would have more room to slide through. That didn't work, so I disconnected it from the top, bolted it up to the hub first, and then jacked it all the way up and forced it into the strut tower. So now it's in, both sides are in. I did have to delete my sway bar. It was fully like bent against the hub, and it wasn't even installed all the way. So I had to take the sway bars off. Not like I need them for this purpose, but this car's just made to go low, and it's going to be insane. But I mean, look at where the hub sits with the coilover now. It's going to be low, and I got quite a bit more thread to go. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm going to put the interior back together, put the wheels on, and then play the whole dancing lift game with low cars, get this thing off the lift, and see how it sits. I'm excited. Here is the final lowering for now. Obviously I can go lower in the back. I can't go lower in the front. I am maxed out on the coilover, but I have other ways of getting low. And I believe that these are 16s, so my wheels are 18s that are coming. So another inch out this way. It'll be pretty good. And I have other stuff that I plan on doing to get the front lower as well. So thankfully, if I need to go lower than I actually can, BC is right over there. So I can just get some smaller springs, shorter springs, whatever I have to do, and that will work. But now is the fun time of getting this car off of the lift. Now, it's low, but I think that it will still be fairly easy to do. I already have the wood from the Soarer when it got transported down there. And yeah, I'm gonna set you guys down again. Sorry for all the time lapses, but when the filmer is working, there can't really be a whole lot of crazy filming at the same time. So set you guys down right here, and let's get this going. Sorry, the shot was terrible. Look at this thing! It's hard to tell how low it is because of the wood, but it is friggin' low. Man. Alright. What I find cool, first of all, is the camber matches. For front arms and no rear arms, the camber matches, which to me, I'm actually kind of stoked about because I want matching camber on this car all the way around. It'll be similar to the Soarer's rear camber when it's aired out. That'll be what it takes to fit the wheels. This thing has become a whole new car. Man. All right, it's tough to see it. I'm gonna try and get it off this wood and get it in the middle of the shop, and then we can see it from there. All right, well, it's off the lift successfully. God damn, that's low. Okay, so already, first thing, I forgot to take off the little turn down tip that Adam put on the exhaust. That is physically touching the ground right now, so I'm gonna attempt to get back up onto some wood, jack it up, and try and get that piece off. But other than that, I'm gonna run it the way it is, and we'll see how that goes. Moved it out away from the lift, and look at this. So this is nuts. And believe it or not, this is not as low as I plan to go. I plan to go probably another inch or two lower all the way around once I have everything that I need. I've discovered that the front wheels are beached on the inner frame. So
it's not bad. Like, I was able to move perfectly fine. Like, I'm not like physically can't move beached. So I'm going to redirect myself, pull myself outside, go around the block real quick, and then I'm gonna pull the car back in and get it back up either on the lift or just jack it up and take the front wheels off and see where the wheels are rubbing, and then see if I can address that and maybe hammer it out or something like that to be able to give myself a little bit more wheel clearance. I know that these are kind of an extreme case because they have an extreme tire on them. My future wheels will be like a 40 sidewall and a 35 sidewall in the back, so I'm not really too worried about that. But for now, at least, if I want to drive at this, I want to make sure that I can do it somewhat safely, you know. And also, I could always just raise the coilover too, so if I need to, I will do that. Well, let's take this thing outside. All right, I forgot my suction mount, so I'm just gonna hold this while I go. This thing is not gonna make it far like this, for sure. I'm going to need to raise the front, but I still wanted to say, screw it, take it around the block anyway. Oh my God. Oh, this brings me back to the Del Sol days. Oh yeah. So I literally just want to do a loop, just so that I can get some marks so I know where to hammer out. That noise that you're hearing is my header, or the downpipe, being dragged away to nothing. Ooh, I smell tire. God, this is a throwback for me. I haven't had a static car in, well, 2 years. Feels longer. This is gonna be an extreme case of static, by the way. This is gonna be static, Japan spec static. I love it. All right, so quick analysis. Came in here. You can easily see right here that we have some tire rubbage going on, so I'm gonna hammer that. We have a little bit of tire rubbage right here, so I'm gonna hammer there. And over here, I believe that's my ABS wire, has been partially chewed through. Forgot to relocate that one. So yeah, there's that. I'm just gonna unbolt it from the chassis and tuck it up higher out of the way, and hopefully that will be the remedy for this. But anyway, I'm gonna get to hammering, get to haggarding, and see how this goes. All right, so I just spent the past probably 40 minutes or so, I would say. Got the front end up in the air, checked to see where everything was rubbing, and just like I said, the tire left perfect marks in every spot of the frame that needed to be hammered back, whatever needed to happen. I like to say that I care about this car, but honestly, I just want to drag it on the ground, and that's the whole purpose of this thing. So we're in Florida, we have flat roads now. Anyways, coming in here, I noticed the first spot was rubbing right up in here. So what I did was I took an angle grinder and I cut some slits into it and then a straight line down, and I was able to hammer it straight up. So that is completely out of the way now, and there's no missing metal there, so it will keep most of the stuff out of the engine bay. Second spot, just like the other side, was hitting right up in here, so I hammered that up. That's all good to go. Third spot, I kind of did a bad job over here, so you know, like I said, I kind of care, I kind of don't care about this car. Cut slits on this side as well, but when I went to go hammer it up, the second skin of the metal started to come off, so I just decided to pull all of that off. And looks kind of jank, but everything is up and out of the way, and I took the wires up some more, so those are out of the way as well. So
On top of that, I also raised the front coils a 1/2 inch. Most of the time with coilovers, raising them a 1/2 inch won't really do much at all. But since these coilovers are so stiff, it will actually make a decent difference in the height of the car. So changed it 1/2 inch in the front and did all of the clearancing stuff. I also trimmed out some of the fender liner as well. I'm gonna slap the wheels on and drive it back the way it is no matter what happens. I'm just super beat and it's late and I've been doing this all day. Feels good to get some work done on this thing for sure. And oh my God, I can't wait to show you guys the wheels for this thing. It's going to be nuts. I'm gonna put the wheels on. Let's see how this thing drives back home. This thing. It's the next day and I'm just about to go get coffee, so figured I would take you guys along and get a little ride along, see if show you guys how it drives. It's not as bad as I expected. I'm so tired. I haven't wrenched like that in a long time and my hands and arms and everything is killing me, but it feels good. It feels good to get back into working on a car again. I feel like one of the engine spacers that we put in must have fallen out because the driver's side header is the only header that I'm scraping, or the downpipe. So I'm wondering if maybe that one fell out. I don't know. It's not really affecting me either way. So I have Broadway static coilovers in this 500S series, and the front is 34K spring rate and the rear is 26. It rides amazing for what it is, and I think that's still because of the stock wheels that I have on the car. If it was the wheels that I bought that are not here yet, it would probably be a lot stiffer because of a low profile tire. But I mean, just driving this casually, I'm probably like, well, my header is like a 1/2 inch off the ground, but the rest of the car is like 2 inches off the ground with no problem, and I still have room to go lower. It just kind of doesn't work with the stock wheels right now. When this light goes green, I'll get on it a little bit, see if we can hear anything. I will be getting an exhaust made for this car that actually like will end at the bumper and not under the middle of the car. So for now, this is what I have to deal with. All the way to 50 with no issues. Barely even felt anything. That clearancing that we did last night after I drove it around the shop was definitely much needed, because now that I've clearanced everything, there's no rub at all. And I only raised the coil over a 1/2 inch, which, yes, it will help, but it doesn't help a whole lot, you know? So the fact that I was able to decipher that and go into the shop and hammer out everywhere that was rubbing and it to be perfect, I think that's sick. You know, it's the weekend, we got all the bikers out again. So I'm pumped that I was able to get some work done on this, for sure. In a few days we're leaving for FD Seattle, and if I didn't come out with this video beforehand, it would have been a whole nother week until, and then I would have had my wheels at that point, which I'm really stoked for. When I get back, the wheels will be here and we can show you guys those and install those. They're some crazy wheels, let me tell you. For a full suspension change, or very close to it, alignment is still great. Wheels straight, drive straight, has a slight little pull to it, but it's fine by me. I am worried though that I may have to take the driver's side fender off and tuck the harness up a little bit more, because right where it reaches around back into the fender, it's a little close to the tire, a little more close than I'd like. So in the future I'll probably have to do that, but like I said, I left half the hardware off those fenders. That way it'd be easy to just zip the fender off, get it done, put it back on. This car's nice, but at the same time, it's not nice enough for me to like
Soarer care about it, if you know what I mean. Like the Soarer I've put so much money into, and this I'm putting money into, but I just want to drag it around and have a good time. So that's the purpose of this car. I just caught a road reflector. My morning routine hasn't changed since moving, I'll say that. Oh, okay, so there's the bounciness that I was talking about. These balloon tires just cause you to rebound off stuff and bounce around everywhere. I'm very excited to not do that, but for the time being, it is what it is. I know for a fact I will not be able to get into this Starbucks parking lot, so I'm going to have to find another way to get in there. All right, well, we've arrived at Starbucks, and I think that I'm gonna end the video here. Like I said, it felt really good to get back into the swing of things and start working on cars. Adam's in California right now, so I kind of had a day to myself to be able to get some stuff done. So I chose to do the coils. So I hope you guys are pumped for the LS. If I don't see you guys until after Seattle, I hope you guys have an awesome next week. And yeah, I don't know. Get excited for the wheels, I guess. The wheels will be here by the time I get back, and they're gonna be nuts. I also have more suspension coming for this that we'll put in when we put the wheels on, and I might have to do some more fab stuff. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Funny turn of events on the way back from getting coffee. There was a free car wash sign, and I don't care about the paint on this car. It's already destroyed, so I was like, man, why not? And it's a bunch of UCF kids just doing stuff over the weekend, and it feels good to help out with the community or whatever. I'll donate whatever they need, so I don't know, I think it's cool. These guys are going to town, so I don't know, thought it was funny. They're all out here just having a good ass time, and that's all it's about, man. Just having a good time. I know this is like sinful what I'm doing right now with these brushes and everything, and I know they don't know, but this paint is already well beyond destroyed, so I don't really care that much.